Leave it in Jehovah's hands. How many times have we heard this? This is a popular, famous saying among the Jehovah's Witnesses, right? This is a popular saying. Leave it in Jehovah's hands. You got any financial debt that you need to pay off? You behind in your rent? You got a car note that you have to pay off, but you don't have the financial assistance? Pray about it. You feeling sick? You feeling down and out? You feeling down emotionally and mentally? Pray about it. Leave it in Jehovah's hands. Go out in service. Preach about it. You know what? Preach until you feel better. Preach until your depression goes away. And preach until your anxiety goes away. Preach it off. Preach it away. Place as many magazines out there as you possibly can. Leave it up to Jehovah. Leave it in Jehovah's hands. How many times have we heard this at Jehovah's Witnesses? I heard this so many times right now. It's comical for a Jehovah's Witness to believe that in the year 2024. That all you simply have to do is just pray about it. Leave it up to Jehovah. Oh, read the Bible. Go out in service. Leave it up to Jehovah. That is a common phrase in the Jehovah's Witness organization. And in other words, if you don't know what that means, right? If you don't know what that means, when they say leave it up to Jehovah, that means any type of injustice that you're dealing with. If you're sick, if you're struggling financially, if you're struggling emotionally or mentally, pray about it. Leave it up to God. In other words, you do absolutely nothing at all. And you pray and you hope and you wish for the best outcome. But don't do nothing about it. Don't take any measures to better yourself. Just hope, pray, and wish for the best outcome. And whatever happens, happens. You see how dumb that sounds? When you wake up from the cult of the Jehovah's Witnesses, right? Can you apply that in the real world? Let's say that you are behind in rent, right? If you're behind in rent, in the real world, can you pray, oh, Jehovah, please give me $2,000 so I can pay my rent for this month. Please, Jehovah, please. Does that work in real life? No, it doesn't. And this is supposed to be the true religion. The cult of Jehovah's Witnesses, they are supposed to have the true religion. Now, if this is the true religion, and the in the real world, right? The real outside world, you can't pray for the best outcome. You can't pray that someone's going to pay your rent, your car note. You can't pray that someone's going to help you mentally and emotionally, right? You can't pray all those things away. It's not going to happen. But in this religion, any negative outcome, any negative circumstance that happens to you, anything negative at all, they want you to pray for it and to rely and wait on Jehovah, which could mean, it could be weeks, months, years, decades, until you get an answer, until you get a proper response. And even then, it may not even be crystal clear, even then. So this whole relying on Jehovah and leave it up to Jehovah's hand, leave it in Jehovah's hands. We are in the year 2024. You can't say that anymore. You know why? Because the cost of living is getting more expensive year by year. People's mental illness is on a decline year by year. People are more stressed, more anxious, more suicidal, more depressed more so now than ever. So you can't say leave it in Jehovah's hands in the year 2024. That's done. That's irrelevant. You can't say that anymore. And yet we have all these millions of Jehovah's Witnesses worldwide across the globe, patiently waiting for Jehovah to step in. When these people are struggling financially, emotionally, mentally, physically, these people are struggling in each and every way possible. So you can't say leave it in Jehovah's hands anymore. That's done. That's done. Now, when I was growing up as a witness, right before I became inactive, I told my mom, I forgot how old I was, somewhere between 15 to 18, right? But I clearly told my mom, I said, Mom, I'm depressed right now. I don't have friends in this organization. I know that we believe that we're supposed to believe that this is the true organization. I don't have friends in this organization. I don't have a lot of friends. I don't have people that care about me. You know what she did? My mom took the Bible, right? She slammed it on the table. This is your antidepressant. If you're depressed, read the Bible. As if the Bible was going to take away all my problems. As if the Bible was going to heal me from my depression. As if me reading the Bible, I was going to find real friends in the Christian congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses from me simply reading the Bible. So this whole leave it in Jehovah's hands philosophy that Jehovah's Witnesses have, that's not the real world. That's not real life. That's not real life. In real life, people are struggling financially, emotionally, mentally, physically. In fact, that's an insult. That's an insult. To tell someone, oh, pray about it. Go on service. You feeling down? You feeling depressed? Go on service. Oh, read the Bible. Go on jw.org about depression. Read about mental illness. That's an insult. And as we know, all these Jehovah's Witnesses, right? I'm not saying not every Jehovah's Witness, but there is a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses out there, a lot of them out there that are struggling with some type of mental illness, which only makes sense. That makes sense. Because if you're told that the end of the world is right around the corner and you're about to live on a paradise earth forever, no more suffering, no more crying, no more death, no more depression, no more mental illness. If you keep being told that, and that promise doesn't come true, that promise doesn't come forth, right? Someone's telling you, the leaders are telling them, oh, paradise is right around the corner. All you have to do is abide by our rules and pay us, right? They don't say pay us, not that. They just say it discreetly, right? They say it discreetly. But the leaders will tell them, all your problems will be taken away with if you simply listen, obey, and worship us. But in the meantime, why you're doing this, right? If you're a witness, why you're doing this? You listen to the governing body leaders. You are paying them donations / monthly payments, right? You're paying these men. And meanwhile, you are trying to simply leave it in anything that you're going through, anything that you're suffering with, right? Anything and everything that you are suffering with, you are told to leave it in Jehovah's hands. Are you fixing the root of your problem? If you're depressed and the people are telling you to pray about it, go on service, read the Bible, does that solve your depression? Me growing up as a witness, I did not have a lot of friends growing up in the organization. I struggled with cognitive dissonance, right? Because I knew that me being in an organization, it was detrimental to my mental health. I knew that. It was not good for my mental health. because I was surrounded by fake, phony people that couldn't and didn't love me for who I was. But at the same time, I was instructed to associate with these people week after week, month after month. I had to see them 2-3 times a week, right? Back in the 90s, we had the early 2000s and the 90s, we had the book study. So we had 3 meetings a week, right? Back in the day. So I had to see these witnesses that I knew didn't care about me from a hole in the wall. I had to see them 3 times a week. So my mom telling me, oh, pray about it. Read the Bible. Leave it up to Jehovah. Leave it in Jehovah's hands. That meant jack shit. That meant jack shit, because I can read people. If people don't love me, I can tell by their demeanor. I can tell by the way that they talk to me, the eye contact. I'm good at reading people, the body language, the whole thing, the whole 9, the whole scenario. And I realized that these witnesses did not love me. So you telling somebody to leave it in Jehovah's hands, wherever they're going through, right? And that is the typical answer to any witness. Any witness, whatever you're suffering with, financially, emotionally, mentally, physically, any and every witness will tell you, oh, pray about it. I'm sorry that you're feeling this way. Pray about it and leave it up to Jehovah. What about all these CSA cases? All these child sexual abuse cases around the world. All these people that went to the elders and said, hey, listen, my child, my daughter, my son, they were sexually abused by an elder, by an MS. What would the elder say in response? Oh, was there 2 witnesses? Oh, did another witness this event? Can someone justify that this actually happened? Or is it simply your child going against this minister servant or this elder? Because we need 2 witnesses to verify that what you're saying is true, that what you're saying is accurate. We need 2 witnesses. And if you reply by saying, no, there wasn't another person. And of course, the majority of the times, it's not going to be another person that'll witness that event. But that parent would say, oh, no, there wasn't another person. It was just my child and this person. And my child, I love my child. I know my child wouldn't lie to me. My child is being honest. This person has said that, this elder, this minister servant said that. My child said that this minister servant or elder said that they abused them sexually. And there wasn't another witness. It was only my child and them, only 2 people involved. And the elder was saying, oh, there wasn't 2 witnesses, huh? So it's your child's word against this person's word. Sorry, there's nothing we can do. You don't have 2 witnesses. Sorry about that. But in the meantime, I want to encourage you to pray about it and to leave it in Jehovah's hands. Now, what do you say in response to that? Someone who has been abused sexually in the Christian congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses by elders who are supposed to take the lead, who's supposed to be in charge. How do you respond to that? There are witnesses who have been through hell and back. I can't even fathom the shit that they've been through. I can't even fathom that because I haven't been in their shoes. But how many stories have we heard where elders, they told the rank and file Jehovah's Witnesses, oh, you don't have two people that can verify what you're saying. So if you keep talking about this, we are going to shun you and you're going to be punished. They tend to punish the victim. They don't punish the person who caused. They don't punish the perpetrator. They don't punish the person who caused all this harm doing, but they punish the victim, the person who is innocent, by telling them, you better keep your mouth shut Keep it in leave it in Jehovah's hands. Don't talk about this. How is that loving? I pray and hope that in the year 2024, this year, that witnesses worldwide see what this organization is all about. And thank God there are a lot of people. They see that there's a lack of love in this organization. They see that there are cliques, there's favoritisms. They see all the injustice, all the corruption that's going on in this organization. They see it all. Thank God they see it all. So once you see it for what it is, you can no longer say, leave it in Jehovah's hands. Leave it up to God. Leave it to Jehovah. You can't say that anymore because now you see things for what it is. Your blinders are off. No more excuses. As a witness, I admit this. I always gave excuses. When people did something unjust, unfairly, I gave them the benefit of the doubt. Oh, they're just imperfect human beings. They're just imperfect. You can't say that. You can't say that. You know how many stories I heard where witnesses, they didn't get along with each other, right? They would gossip about each other, talk shit about each other. They had cliques, favoritism, right? I said to myself, how is this the true religion? Aren't you supposed to die for your brother and sister? You're supposed to die for your brother and sister, right? But yet, you over here gossiping about them. So much for true agape love. So much for true love. And all these stories that's going on. The CSA cases around the world. Jehovah's Witnesses that are struggling, like I said, financially, emotionally, mentally. I knew a brother in Melbourne, Australia. This is a true story. I know a brother in Melbourne, Australia, right? He's not a brother anymore. He left the organization. He faded away, right? He living in Melbourne, Australia. He was so suicidal and depressed because he didn't feel love from the organization. He didn't feel love from the people in the Christian congregation. During an assembly, this came out of his mouth. I know this brother. Me and him had heart-to-heart conversations. We both suffer with depression. We both suffer with suicidal ideations. I know this brother, right? I know him. Sorry, he's not a brother anymore, but I know this guy. I know him. So anywho, he told me a few years ago, he was so depressed and suicidal. He had a switchblade. He took it out during a meeting, right? He took out his split blade. This is during assembly. And he started to cut his wrist. That's how depressed, that's how isolated he felt from the society, which he supposedly was supposed to felt welcome and loved in. But instead, he felt isolated. He felt isolated from the Christian congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses to the point where he took out a switchblade. He started cutting his wrist during the assembly. Not to the point where he needed to go to the hospital. He wasn't like trying to kill himself, but he wanted to feel pain because pain was the only thing that he felt. That's the only thing that he felt in the Christian congregation of the Jehovah's Witnesses. Because everybody, they shunned him for the most part. And he tried talking to elders. He tried speaking to elders about his mental illness. Hey, I'm depressed. I am lonely. I feel like I don't belong in this organization. I don't feel the love. And what did these elders tell him? Pray about it. Leave it to Jehovah. Read your Bible. This organization is far, far from loving. How many stories have we heard where people were severely depressed? People were severely suicidal. People felt like they didn't belong in an organization. People were struggling one way or another, and they went to the elders. And the elders simply told them, pray about it. Read your Bible. Go out in service. Leave it up to Jehovah. If someone is suffering, especially emotionally and mentally, the last thing that they want to hear is, oh, just pray about it, leave it to Jehovah. That person needs true agape, unconditional love. But this organization, they don't know how to produce that. They don't know how to give love to their members. They don't know how to give love to their members. But it pains me to hear all these stories where witnesses they approach these elders. They're trying to run to these elders for help. And all along, these elders are telling them, pray about it. Read your Bible. Go out in service. And leave it up to Jehovah. Where is the brotherly love in that?